What's up YouTube? Harms here with another Street Fighter 6 video. Today we will be looking at the Season 3 balance patch that happened in June and see how those changes affected Honda in the current meta. He got a good mix of buffs and nerfs, but some are much more important than others. And I'll also go over his new staple combo routes and Oki to help you use those buffs and win more matches. Finally, if you want to see more Honda content, like this video and subscribe. I also stream on Twitch if you want to check me out there. And let's get right into this Season 3 balance patch. First, let's look at Modern Honda, who got some nice buffs to his jump-ins. Before, he could only do punch jump-ins, but now with the help of the auto button, you can get the kicks as well, including jump down medium, which is his like mini cross-up button with jump light kick. So this is a nice buff to Modern Honda. Every character got this. This is a universal change, but Modern Honda didn't get any other buffs. And I think overall this patch, Modern Honda is worse than last season because he can't do some of the new combo routes involving stuff. He just doesn't have that on his kit. Now we are back on Classic Honda, and we can continue with some of these universal changes. One such is that a lot of normals in the game got their recovery extended. So buttons that were hard to whiff punish, especially crouch medium punches on many characters, they got increased whiff recovery, so Honda's no exception. This went from 13 frames on whiff to 15. So an additional 2 frames, and now you can whiff punish it pretty easily if you're looking for it. It's not going to be like free like some of his other normals, but definitely much easier than it was in Season 2. To demonstrate this change, here's a drill that y'all can try at home. Pretty good. So this will take some practice, but don't be scarred by the Hondas that are just whiffing medium punch over and over again like they were in Season 2. That's a lot easier to deal with. The final universal change that applies to Honda is with crouch medium kicks. So characters that can cancel their crouch medium kick got crouch medium kick drive rush nerfed a little bit, and characters that cannot cancel, like Honda, they got a scaling penalty added if they are able to combo afterwards. So, for example, combos like this. In Season 2, this did about 2400, and now it is 2100. And a drive rush staple, like this, does 2600 now, and it used to do about 3k. So that's 300 to 400 damage that got shaved off across the board, which is a pretty significant nerf for Honda. Next, let's talk about hands. So one of the changes they made is that they increased the knockback on both hit and block. So for example, on hit, heavy hands would always pull you in really far, and you could get a mix-up after that, but you couldn't always do that with medium hands. So with medium hands, this works. This won't work at the absolute max range though, so it's always like preferable to end your combos in headbutt or butt slam anyways. And then on block, medium hands used to spacing trap and like keep the opponent really far away sometimes, and you won't always be able to punish. But now it's pretty much guaranteed at every range. So that's both a buff and a nerf, although pretty minor. Another change it made to hands was with buffed hands. I think this mainly has to do with an air hit, but it hasn't changed much on the ground. One of the problems with like Honda is that you can't always get like light hands after a combo. This is +4 on hit. Like you'll just be out of range to follow up. I thought that this change would fix that, but it really hasn't done anything. Even in like really common pressure sequences. For example, like, let's see, you got a headbutt knockdown. See, that isn't a combo. It's a shadow change. It probably makes a difference with some of his new combo routes. Maybe they didn't work. Maybe we were testing, I'm not sure, but that hitbox change doesn't really do much at all. Another change that didn't do much at all is changing the level 3 hitbox and expanding it forward for the combo. So that's this hit right here. This didn't do anything. Nothing has changed. All of the non-cinematic combos that you could get in Season 1 and Season 2 are still here. All of them still work, right? This also doesn't help with any of his combo structure at all in the comboing at a level 3. So like the new combos, we'll just briefly go over this. Like something like this that you would expect to work all the time just doesn't work, right? Things like this also just don't work. I don't know who was playtesting this at Capcom. I don't know. My favorite example is always this one. You just go right through them. I don't know what they were thinking with this change. One of the biggest changes that Honda received in Season 3 was the amount of drive gauge damage the opponent takes on block after blocking a headbutt. So in Season 2, Heavy Headbutt did a full bar, and as you can see, it's only doing 75% right now. And then Light and Medium Headbutt did the 75%, but now it only does about 60%. And this is quite a significant nerf. This change was made to compensate for perfect parry needing to be back plus parry instead of just tapping parry regular. But 1 month after this change has come out, and now pretty much everyone is used to doing back parry with not many issues. And if you were using your headbutt as like a close range neutral tool, you weren't getting perfect parried anyways. Like it's way easier to parry this headbutt than the other headbutts. So this significantly factors into his drive gauge. Well, his ability to destroy your drive gauge. So for example, like one of the really good things you could do here was take away like a bar and a half on the spot, maybe a little bit more in Season 2, but now, as you can see, this did just like slightly over a bar. And so like the Season 2 would look closer to this with the heavy punch instead. It's all a block string, and the opponent has to hold that with the heavy kick, but now I find myself doing heavy punch into heavy headbutt more often because I get to take their drive gauge away at the risk of, you know, them perfect parrying or doing a reversal. So overall, like a very significant nerf and takes away from his core game plan. Okay, the final change that we'll go over before we get into the new combos are quality of life changes that I really like actually. They are on the overhead and on the lift. They made it so that you can buffer your input for longer when linking between these moves. I remember especially the overhead was pretty tight. If you wanted to combo off of this in Season 2, but now it's fine, and I never dropped that anymore. So good job, Capcom. Everything we will talk about from here on out has to do with Honda's new combo structure, so we'll be scattered around the rest of the buffs. First is that Stomp, Clap, and the second hit of Heavy Kick all have increased juggle points and combo count. So what this means is that after a lift, he can connect these way more reliably. For example, after regular lift, you can clap, which was not possible before. And after OD, you can clap, you can stomp, or you can heavy kick. And all these have different uses, but the general rule is that the more hits in a combo you have, the more damage it'll do. And that is mostly true with these new Honda buffs. I'll show you a few examples now of how this does more damage. So we'll be looking at like the standard punish counter routes. This is level 1, this is 3780. And with the new buffs, it's 4K. So a nice little damage improvement there. One thing I want to note, and I won't bring this up again, is that you should be starting your punish counter combos with medium punch, because this now links into lift after the heavy punch, which was not possible in like season 1, but I'll show you the difference here. So you're spending 1 more bar of drive gauge to do less damage in both scenarios. And another important thing is that your drive meter won't regenerate. That's why you start with 5 MP. Another combo that this improved is the butt slam combo, like a 2-bar combo. So here in season 2, you just do this combo. It's a nice 3500. That's pretty standard for a 2-bar. But now with the buffs, you can stomp first and then do a follow-up afterward. You can do like a variety of different things. You can do headbutt, you can do hands, medium hands specifically. You won't be able to get heavy hands unless it's a high juggle, and we'll talk about some of those later. You also really can't get the punch walk ever. It just won't combo, but that's like pretty not standard anyway. Overall, solid damage increase across the board from these early routes. You can use the increased juggle points on these 3 moves in combination with each other, and I'll show you a couple of them now. One is the heavy kick into clap. So this will combo, and as you can imagine, this helps a lot with sumo spirit. And there I got a high clap, and I was able to get heavy hands afterward. If I do a lower clap to the ground, oh, that's perfect. That's the max height. But if I do it lower, sorry guys, I'm too good at executing. I can only get medium, and the heavy will whiff. So that's good for meter build, right? It doesn't do more damage. But another way you can combo into clap is after stomp, right? And this will be the same way. You can get medium hands here, and call it a day, right? But this is a specific juggle, and the clap hits late in the active frames. So down there, that on that frame meter, you see all 5 of the active frames are there. Normally when you cancel the clap, it's on frame 3. So here we get this special heavy hands route, and that does 4100, and you get a ton of your drive meter back. That is the combo I would recommend if you have Sumo Spirit and you just want to get a solid knockdown. We'll talk about this plus 43 number a little bit later in the Oki section, but if you want to do raw damage, Stomp has a trade-off for it comboing more often. They added initial scaling to it, just like Crouch Medium Kick, so it's 20%. And if you have Sumo Spirit, the rule is that you should do Clap first instead of Stomp. But if you don't have Sumo Spirit, you should go into Stomp. unless you're doing the lift level 1 combo with a clap in between. So I'll show you that difference now. Alright, so that's 41. And here it's 42, 70. It's like 150 more damage. A little bit less meter gain, but you'll be able to combo into level 3 as well if you use medium headbutt. You'll get the good juggle on it, and you'll be able to cancel into super. So that is the rule of thumb with Sumo Spirit and lift combos. Honda also gets some nice buffs to his corner damage with the new routes. So on regular lift, you can get stomp, right, which is not possible without the corner, which is a little bit too far away. So you can do like headbutt. This is a safe jump, plus 42. You can do medium or light headbutt, which is plus 43. You can also get creative and do things like getting the buff afterward, and leaves you right in command grab range. So this is a strong like damage buff overall. Also note that you can't get any of like the extra follow-ups without OD lift. But this is where OD lift comes into play. Is you can do the clap combo, medium hands, and this is like the old Oki here with a plus 41. And you also have the option if you realize like, oh, I want to kill my opponent, right? You can go into drive rush follow-ups from this. So the two things that will link here are crouch medium punch and stand heavy kick. Stand heavy kick is typically better. It does more damage. You can get like jabs too. You can do some funny things. But just for now, you have all 6 bars. This is the combo you learned. That does 6,200. And the important thing about this combo is that it will build an entire bar of super meter. Drive rush pierce, stomp, stomp, clap, medium hands, and heavy headbutt level 3. And this is a must-know combo if you want to kill your opponent from pretty much any spot with 6 bars. Not that you're going to land it often. I've been playing for a month now on this patch, and I might have done this combo like 3 or 4 times. You're not going to get it that often, but it's really good to know. The combo you will be doing quite often, and I think this is a must-know, is whenever you have like 3 to 5 bars of drive gauge. Because very rarely will you have all 6 bars unless you're like pairing a super reversal. So the next best route is something like this. You get your stomp, right? And then you don't want to run out of drive gauge to get the follow-up. You can always keep it simple. You're like hands level 3. You have the option now to do something like this. And what's so good about this combo is that this will work pretty much anywhere on the screen. So like, let's take Terry here. He's sitting at round start distance. And so you link the OD walk into light or medium headbutt, and you'll level 3 afterward. Does slightly less damage, but there's no manual timing involved. It works mid-screen. It's very flexible too. You can get a bunch of different follows here if you want to do. You also don't need Sumo Spirit. Like, totally don't need that at all. Like, you can level 1 here if you want. You can do level 2 as well. You just have to let them fall a little bit. And you get level 2. And so this is really good especially mid-screen. Let's talk about his mid-screen routing a little bit more with Stomp. Mid-screen, it's very different than in the corner because your opponent's going to be pushed farther away with every hit. And so what makes for a really consistent combo in the corner, mid-screen is extremely inconsistent. And if you want to replicate the corner combos, you have to do some really difficult things. So, for example, if we try that combo here, right, that won't combo into level 3. And then we also can't get Headbutt, right? Like, we fly too far away to get any kind of follow-up here. There's 3 ways of dealing with this. I think the most practical way is to do the first hit of Heavy Kick. And you're going to sacrifice about 200 damage, but this is a trade-off, unless you want to learn some insane execution. The second method is to delay your stomp by 1 or 2 frames exactly. And the third method is to delay cancel the heavy kick. Second hit specifically. And that is like another 2-frame window. So those are really tough. I'm going to talk about those in another video. But I would recommend just doing or hands if you don't want to do Headbutt level 3. Another alternative is to do the Season 2 combos. There's nothing wrong with doing these, and they are a lot more consistent than the Stomp routes mid-screen. And sometimes they might even do more damage. So if we have Honda go down to like 3 bars again. So it's going to do about a little over 6k. And like an old Season 2 route, we'll do 6.4. And because of those the buff juggle points on clap, you can do now heavy punch clap into heavy hands into a follow-up. And that might have been possible before, but I wasn't ever doing that. Another example is with like the max damage routes. So you can do all the same combos mid-screen that you could do in the corner here. You can Headbutt level 3, and that's going to do 66. While the micro walk combo is going to do 69. But in my opinion, doing the micro walk combo is easier than doing the delay cancel here, and it's a lot less damage. It's like 200 less damage. Maybe that's just because I've been doing it for 2 years now. But don't forget your Season 2 routes. They're still very good and worth considering. The last thing I want to touch on regarding Honda's optimal combos are a much improved level 2 route. Before, you know, you would start your combo with punish counter heavy hands and do this pretty much every time. And most of the time, you'd want to be doing more special moves afterward, and not as much drive rush because of the scaling penalty added to drive rush. So like the meterless here does 49, and the level 2 does 53, I think, or 52, just shy of 53. But this wasn't like really possible with level 1, or sorry, with level 2. If you did level 2, it didn't do like nearly as much damage, and it wasn't like worth it. Like, why are you spending an extra bar of super for 60 more damage? And even like a micro walk route like this. Only did like 56, right? So now that you have the option to do stomp afterward, this is significantly easier and will do more damage as well. You get like 50 more damage. So now level 2 has a much better purpose in the corner cash out routes. Now I want to discuss some combos that you should not be doing in Season 3, just because of the way these new routes worked, and these were some common combos in Season 2. Again, I already mentioned that you shouldn't be starting your combos with Punish, Counter, Fierce. You should do Medium Punch instead. One of the more common routes in Season 2 was the corner safe jump with Drive Rush Heavy Kick into Heavy Headbutt. This was very, very good in Season 2 and Season 1 especially, because this was like the only way he could get a safe jump without getting a close target combo into Headbutt. But now, again, this is obsolete because you can get Stomp into Heavy Headbutt every time. Meterless does 3,700 in comparison to 3,500 for 1 bar. So if you want the safe jump, do Stomp into Heavy Headbutt. Another combo I don't want to see people doing is Stomp combos that just simply go into medium hands, right? If you have buffed medium hands, if you choose to do Stomp every time, you can clap, and that will build you extra drive gauge and super meter. Again, we talked about this earlier, but the only time you, if you want just raw damage and not anything else, you do clap immediately and no Stomp. And then the final one I want to talk about is this target combo here. So I think doing this mid-screen is completely fine. I don't have an issue with it. You get decent Oki. But I want to show you some alternatives for the corner that I think you might like a lot better than choosing this. So we're going to be doing OD lift every time. And before you would get like 3360 and the buff, and again, decent Oki, you're right in front of them. But like I said earlier, you can choose to do this meterless, do 200 less damage, and also be +8. And in my opinion, there's not a big difference between +8 and +13, unless you are +12 is always the number we want. And you can micro delay the medium punch and get the good meaty, but I think this is like a really good trade-off. However, there is this cool new route where you can do Stomp, Drive Rush Heavy Kick, immediate buff, and this is +12 on the spot, and this is perfect. So you have your +12 and you get more damage than going for this straight up, and it's about 100 damage difference. And also this looks like a drop combo a lot of times, and so people will be fooled on what to do here. Alright, we are finished with the combo section, and we're going to move on to the Oki section. There's 2 new knockdowns that I want to talk about for Season 3. The first one is the +21 knockdown. This will occur every time you do the new 2-bar bread and butter with OD lift and a Stomp and a butt slam. And this is slightly different than the old butt slam knockdown that is +23, and I'll show you some of those differences now. There are a couple of good benefits to the +21 knockdown. The first one is that you can get a +5 throw with a crouching jab frame kill, and this is really strong because the opponent cannot backdash your throw and punish you for it. It's only -2. And the other thing that's nice about this is that you can cover a bunch of other anti-throw options from this point, like them trying to jump out of your combos. So with every throw with Honda, you can hold down and have charge for an OD butt slam anti-air, which is very good. But with +5 throws specifically, you can do a little bit more than that. And you can anti-air with clap. And this is very powerful because the clap will autocorrect for whichever side the opponent jumps. So the opponent can jump forward or neutral jump. And in the corner, they can back jump, and you can catch all the options with a single clap. And you might be wondering why this is important. Well, you can follow up from this and link certain special moves afterwards. So, for example, you can do OD butt slam. I did 2K compared to a regular 1400. So a big damage improvement there. And then only for +5 throws, you can link level 1. And this is very, very good. I want to show you what happens if you do a +4 throw here. We're going to change the value with a stand jab to +4, and then this no longer links. You will still be able to get OD butt slam. There it is, right there. But that's only on the +4 throw. They're taking a lot of damage if you don't have Sumo Spirit. If you do have Sumo Spirit, you simply cancel into Heavy Hands and do massive damage. That's 2800, right? And that's the same damage as like OD Command Grab. And you can get all your routes from here. You can do level 1 combo, 3600. Level 2, which does 4100. And level 3. And this does like 4800. So if your opponent doesn't want to take the command grab or a regular throw, they're going to be hurting. Honda's Drive Rush Oki on +21 is a little different as well. What I like to do on the +23 is Drive Rush Medium, which is +8, and also Drive Rush Medium Kick, which is +4. And these are both very, very strong, and you could use them in different situations. There's no way to recreate the +8 on the +21, which is the one downside. You don't get a block string into heavy kick, but you can still recreate the +4, and it's a lot better because people would perfect parry this, and by alternating between crouch medium punch and crouching medium kick, they are both +4. They give the same combo on hit, and they also have to guess which direction you're going if you want to perfect parry. It's a 50-50 on their end if they want to go low or mid. You can also get the same trade combo that you did on the old Drive Rush stand medium kick, and this is really good. This will always be at least +10 on hit, so I would recommend just following up with medium punch, but if they're really close, you can get a sling, like so. Medium punch will always be between +6 and +9 on hit, and to be safe, you go for a jab, but in instances like this, you do cool things, like so, and continue your pressure. And at any time they don't want to take the command grab, you know, they're holding up, they're gonna die. +10 every time for both of these. And make sure you're confirming this into fierce, into whatever you want to. Right. And it's their choice not to take the command grab. Empty Drive Rush is also very good here, as it will still beat reversals clean. Although, if your opponent is waking up with buttons, you will get a counter hit. The final benefit of the plus 21 knockdown is the overhead Oki. And this is really neat. On a regular butt slam, you could follow up with a combo. If you did immediate overhead, this is plus 5. But obviously this won't work on the plus 21 because you have less frame advantage. It doesn't hit as meaty. But you can trick your opponent and do power command grab. And I really like this because the people that don't know that this is a different knockdown are used to just parrying this. Like this is a free perfect parry, and you can't really do much about it. However, here the people that are always parrying are going to get the, just like the plus 20 free knockdown, you can bait drive reversal. Although you won't ever be able to punish it. Unless it's like a character-specific drive reversal, and you can also bait TPs, although you have to commit to holding up forward. So a little bit worse, but you still have ways around people that are doing ODDP. To finish off the Oki section, I want to talk about the plus 43 knockdown. You'll get this in two main ways. The first is off of the Sumo Spirit, the 2-bar combo with Stomp, Heavy Hands, medium hands, and when you have an opponent cornered, you can get this off of any stomp into light or medium headbutt. Mid-screen, the Oki is pretty good. You can set up for a tick throw situation with Drive Rush. You're going to let the Drive Rush rock, and you can medium punch, keep it simple, plus 5. And this will always be in range for heavy command grab. You can hit the blow as well. This is meaty, frame trap, and also go overhead if you let it rock for long enough. And this will combo. You can also meaty throw them to get the timing right, although it is a 1-frame timing. And this won't work if they walk back. However, you can mix up the timing with Drive Rush, Crouch Jab, plus 3 on block and immediate throw. And similarly to medium punch, you can get heavy command grab afterward. And if you think your opponent will jump the command grab, you can always float them with heavy kick and get a good follow-up afterwards. You are not going to be able to meaty command grab, although, you know, just stopping short is always pretty good. You can stop short right outside of their delay tech range and punish them for their bad habits. If you don't want to go for Oki, you can get a safe Sumo Spirit, or you can get even more meter back by just walking forward. You gain almost a half a bar, and you can sit right outside their button range and whiff punish them. Now, where plus 43 really gets scary is when Honda has the opponent cornered, as Honda can do his full range of mix-ups from a similar set of frame kills, and it's really hard for the opponent to decipher what's happening. And again, the main way you'll get this is by doing light or medium headbutt. Standard Oki here is just to get your meaty stand medium punch. And you will do this through doing a light punch and light kick frame kill. And this is plus 12, and this will combo into your stand heavy kick, where you can loop it again. The headbutt is a safe jump, but if you want this from heavy headbutt, you just want to keep it simple. You can do a throw frame kill, and this is really tricky. The next set of mix that he can do is high-low from the same stand jab. So plus 26 is his magic number for his overhead. This is plus 8 on hit and plus 2 on block. and incredibly strong, leaves him in throw range for a throw. And then if you want to go low, you will do stand jab into crouch jab. This is plus 10, and this will result in a 0 on block crouching medium kick. This crouching medium kick is also a plus 8 on hit. However, I would recommend not trying to link an 8-frame button into it, as stand heavy kick will whiff, and crouch medium punch does a similar amount of damage to this medium clap. You can also rinse and repeat from this position. You just do target combo heavy hands, medium hands, and this does a similar amount of damage to the crouching medium punch, just slightly more. And the other thing is that if this gets blocked, you get a meaty clap, so you can just autopilot this. Right, that whiffs on standing, but if you do crouching jab, you get -1, and you can just like use some hands afterwards and keep it tight. What I also find really convincing about the plus 43 is that you can, get your strike throw going with the same light punch, light medium punch frame kill, and you can get a traditional shimmy here as well, instead of having to jump out of the way or backdash. You're going to be out of range of their throw as long as they don't instant tech. If they instant tech, you're going to get thrown, but hopefully your opponent isn't instant teching against Honda. Honda has a lot of tricky things he can do here as well. With that meaty overhead that we talked about earlier, he can also mix in a meaty DI for the stun, and this will stun even the JP and Marissas that are doing Scudum or OD Amnesia. Basically, every time Honda gets a meaty overhead, he also will get a meaty DI. He can also do the Kara OS with the clap frame kill. This is plus 14. And not only can you do the Kara OS, but you also get a +1 on block clap. This is +5 in burnout. It's really good in burnout. You get the chip damage. And you can do the full range of mix-ups, as well as butt slam, and it's all safe to supers. So, for example, we'll have Terry wake up here. Ulti right through it. One right through it. And they'll just, it's very safe. The next set of frame kills I want to show off, I stole from Curryman and his stream, so shoutouts to Curryman. This is the backdash frame kill, and this is really sick. So the mix here is off of overhead. Initially, you can Kara command grab here, and this is meaty. Curryman was doing it from a normal headbutt, which is also very good. A very good surprise. But there are many layers to this that I didn't even think were possible before I looked into this. And again, heavy will whiff, but you can always get medium. If you think the opponent will jump, you can do a Kara into light hands, and this will float them for a combo. You can also clap this and cancel single hit confirm into buffed hands or level 3. And then finally, on crouching opponents, you might have noticed that this whiffed on standing. However, on a crouching opponent, this will not hit me, but it hits late into the active frames. Look at this. Look, it hit late into the active frames. So if they don't block, they're gonna get comboed. This is +5. You're out of range for the Tara combo, but you do get stand jab into whatever you want. So a very sneaky round closer, and I believe if you are like a charge god, you can also get butt slam here and bait them doing some nonsense. But I will be using this a lot more on offense and see how it goes. A couple more things about the backdash frame kill is with clap. This will beat Chun-Li and Mai's level 1 super on Wake Up. And it looks like this. This is plus 10 on hit when Mai doesn't have stock, and plus 8 when she does have stock, and plus 8 for Chun-Li. And this is, you know, incredibly swaggy. If I could follow up correctly. And they take 6k. So if you want to make your local Mai player suffer and pay for their sins of waking up in level 1, do this overhead and they will cry. I promise. Another setup you might want to consider is this light kick frame kill, and you will do immediate overhead afterward. It's a little difficult to pull off. This will not hit meaty, but it will trade combo if they end up mashing. And it's really funny because it's like at least plus 15, and the conversion here is micro walk heavy punch into lift. That can happen, that's a common mistake, but this is really neat. And then the last thing I want to show off is you can do any combination of backdash and forward dash and be +1. And the forward dash backdash is out of throw range, so this is a nice like shimmy. And then you can just buffer clap behind this and confirm into hands. If they do end up not blocking, you get a meaty clap here on standing opponents only. Right, and they die. Cool stuff you can play around with. If you've made it this far into the video, I want to thank you so much for watching. This concludes everything you need to know about Season 3 Honda. Let me know in the comments what your favorite Season 3 change about Honda is, and tell me if I missed anything too. This is quite a long guide, but there's always stuff that I can overlook. And to wrap it off, we're going to do a combo showcase of a bunch of new combos that you can use to style on your opponents. So enjoy.